How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my stream. I don't remember what episode this is. This is like episode 9, I think it is. So welcome to whatever episode of Jetpack Compose Exploration this is. I've prepared something really special for you today because we are going to start a new project. I did dabble with the card game thing for 2 streams, but I figured that I wanted to take that offline for a bit. I'm not entirely convinced that Jetpack Compose is the best match for that kind of game, so I want to focus this stream on a new design that's being implemented on stream, and that is what we are going to do. So let me show you what we are going to build next. So I found this design here. I was browsing Dribbble and I came across this person here, Shanua Islam, and they've prepared a couple of cool designs, but one that struck out to me was this one for a food delivery app. And what's kind of cool, and unlike the last design that I built from Dribbble, this one actually has an accompanying like UX and kind of corporate identity sheet to go along with it. So in here, they describe in a bit more detail how the app looks on the different screens that it has. And as I scroll through here, you can see that they've thought a lot about the different screens that would make up this food delivery app. And I'm especially interested in getting to work on this kind of product card screen. There's a lot of circular motion here. There's a lot of circles, a lot of round shapes. And I think that's going to be very interesting. It's not necessarily material. It's very branded in that way. We do have a couple cards though. So here we have a cart screen, and there's a couple of interesting design tidbits that I want to get focused on. There's a couple places where I am going to take a bit of liberties and deviate from the design, because I'm not sure why every single one of these pages has a search icon on the top right. I'm not sure what you would search on like the cart screen. I'm hoping that nobody would ever get that much food delivered that they need a search function to find what's in their list of items. So I will take some liberties there, but in general, it looks like a clean design. We have a couple form fields that I want to explore that I really didn't get to with the travel app. And yeah, I think that's it. So let's see, very clean, very little color. We have this darkish blue, kind of a bit muted color. Then we have gray and this primary mint green-ish tint. And that's basically it. There's a couple of like iconography and a couple photos that kind of decorate the screens, but in general, it's very much just black, white, and gray, these 2 colors, and then pleasant imagery. So that's what we're gonna build. I'm not gonna start with the login screen, I don't think. I'm gonna skip that because it's not really interesting to me. So I think what I'm gonna start with is this home screen, actually. I see a couple of components that I will be able to salvage from my travel app. I can bring that up real quick, actually. Hold on. Which one is it? That's not it. Should be this one. Yes. All right. So if I put my travel app implementation next to this design, there's this horizontal section, right? So at the very top, where basically like categories of food or like, yeah, different ingredients, that kind looks very similar to this horizontal section that I built for the travel app. So I might just steal that, honestly. It's just a scrollable row with a couple of items in it, but I did have some logic behind it, so I think I'm just gonna steal that from my old design and implement it onto the new one. And then let me get rid of my visor here. And then below we have a very, very cool like image widget that I want to build. It's also horizontally swiped, I'm imagining, because there you can just barely see there's another item to the right here. And I want to build this in a way where there's multiple images aligned on top of each other. I want to build a custom layout for this, and I want to explore the layout and like measurable, placeable APIs, because I've never used them in Compose, and they've intimidated me a bit, but I want to get into those. And then below is just a grid of stuff. Just basic grid, I think, should do the trick here. So that's what I'm gonna do. We have a typeface, which the designer also places on the top of their like CI sheet. And yeah, let's get started, man. Hey Sinya, good to see you. How are you? Right. So all I did was I copied my travel app, removed all the code from it. I commented out a bit for the theme here. We're gonna fill that up probably. And I did prepare the typeface that the designer used, and that's pretty much it. So if I start this now, all we're gonna see is a text that says "Hello Compose" at the top. And that's it. It's pretty much just brand new, fresh start. And that's it. So just text box, "Hello Compose," and that's it. Okay. So let's get started. As I said, I will be starting with the home screen. And I want to start by just arranging the different components, like top bar, center, and then grid at the bottom. And then I'll fill those in with actual imagery later. I'm doing good as well. All right, so in our Android Studio, we are going to create a new package for the home screen. Just call that home screen, and then we are gonna make a composable function for the home screen. Let's see, import that. And then I'm just gonna replace this with home screen. Okay, get rid of the text. I am gonna try and use the navigation component that was just released a couple hours ago. I think it was yesterday, I think. So now we have a first-class navigation implementation. So unlike my travel app, I don't need to write a custom navigator. I want to try and see what the first party stuff is capable of, I guess. All right. So design. What do we have here? Let me try and get this in a state where we can have a look at it at the same time. Yeah, I think that'll do. I think that'll do for now. If there's a lot of chat activity, I'll hide the browser window again, but I think for now it's okay. Right, so what do we have? We don't really have we have a section, like a header section. Senya says, I need to go back. Good to see you and have a lovely time. Thank you. You have a lovely time as well. Thanks for stopping by. So I'm not sure if I want to go with a scaffold here. This kind of feels to me just like vertical content, and if I were to scroll even further, then the explore would just move upwards. Not sure. Not sure though. I think I will just assume a column for now, or like rather a scrollable column as the root. And then this will fill its entire content parent. All right, fill max size, come on, import. and in here we have first the header row. So I guess we have home header. Then below that we have the, well, I guess it's kind of, not sure what that would do. I guess it's some sort of filter. So I'm calling this food category filter. And then we have a kind of like a horizontal section. So I might actually do this and just pull in the code from my travel app. I'm going to call that horizontal section. And then in the horizontal section, we have this very prominent kind of showcase, showcase of recommended dishes. So I guess we have recommended dish. And then below that we have what looks to be like a tab bar. So it seems like you can select either popular or offer, and then depending on that, the content of the grid below it changes. So I'm gonna do a tabbed grid or something. And then the tabbed grid is gonna have something like, you can like maybe see there's one tab for popular, and then there's one tab for offer, and then in here would be kind of like the item, the grid item. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else would be there below the grid. So let's assume that that would be all. So let's fill in these compilation errors with actual things that make up these different parts. And then we'll fill them in one by one. That is also a composable. And then we have recommended dish. And then we have, then we have tabbed grid. And we already know that we have a list of string that make up the tabs, like titles, recommended dish, and then we have, I forgot one. We have horizontal section, which gets a content. Yes, composable lambda. Okay, that should now all build. Oh no, it doesn't. This is going to be item content, and this is also going to be cell content. Composable lambda. So none of these are going to do anything for a while, but they will eventually. So let me check if this builds first of all. And then we're just going to start with the top. Okay, that is built, and we have a white screen, which is unsurprising. And yeah, it works. It works. That's what we expected. Okay. Right. Let us start with the header first. So the home header will be just a row which has to fill its entire content. Oh. We have this thing again where some of the components have like outer padding and then some don't, because the swipeable, the horizontal sections, they should not have side padding, because otherwise there's this ugly white border around them when you swipe them. But this row, it does have outside padding. So let's go with that. I don't know. I'm gonna wing it for now. I'm saying 16 dip, and then we'll adjust this accordingly. So 16 dip all around. Let's import that. My pretzel has stopped again. Okay, I gotta check my audio chain real quick. Will be just a second here. Okay. That should be better. Right, so where was I? Yeah, padding. 16 dip. Fill max width will be required, because it should stretch all across. And then I forgot the name. I had this when I built the travel app. It has something to do with the arrangement, because we have two children here. We have the explore text, and then we have this like search bar. And you could arrange them. Was it arrangement? There was something called like space between, space eagerly. I don't remember what it was. Actually, it might not have been a modifier. I think it might be just a property on row. Yeah, I think it's horizontal arrangement. So if I use that, is there a thing called like space between, space inside, something like that? There is space between. I think this is what I want, because I want the two children to be as far apart from each other as possible. And then let's do this. Okay. And then I'm just gonna omit these. So we have an explore text. It's not gonna be stylized at all, but I'll deal with that later. So explore text, and then a search bar. And search bar is a thing that we don't have yet. So I'm gonna build a composable function for it. And what the search bar is gonna do is, well, what is it really? It's a field to type in text. It has an icon to the left of it, and around this entire thing is a kind of like button-shaped rounded rectangle. So I suppose I can make this into a row as well. And then inside we have an icon, and we have a what's that called again in Compose? Like edit text. Is it like text field or something? I forgot the name. Oh. Text field. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Value is going to be empty. Well, we're going to have state in there eventually, but so value is going to be empty. On value changed will be hoisted up eventually, and then we have probably something like hint. Hey, manual. It was close. It's just text field. So is there something like hint? I can't see it. Oh, that's placeholder. That's what I want. and placeholder is that a composable lambda? Okay. So placeholder is gonna be another text composable then? Now that I think about it, in my travel app I did not use a single text field. So I'm not sure. That's why I'm surprised that this placeholder, it actually is a composable lambda. That's really interesting. Okay. That's cool. So the placeholder can be anything. That's what I really love about Compose. It's just really cool. Okay, right, and I want a search icon. So I forgot again how that worked. So there are material icons, but I forgot. I forgot the class that they were in. Oh, actually, I think I read something about this in release notes. So I just updated this to the very latest Compose, which is Alpha 6, which has been released yesterday. And they did mention that some things were moved around, but I don't know where to easily find this now. It's not runtime. I think it was material. Hold on, let me share what I see here. Jetpack Compose material release notes, maybe. Alpha 6. Yes, here. Android X Compose Foundation icon has been moved to material icon. Oh, maybe that's just for the... Yeah, okay, that's just for this composable. That doesn't help me. Alright. Okay, I'll figure it out. If necessary, I'll just peek in my other app. I might actually do that. Where was it? So I used it on the start screen. Let me open the start screen of my travel app. I had the vector assets ready. I had custom ones, but I think I used an icon somewhere, didn't I? Oh, here's that logic for the section that I will also steal from myself. Darn it. Yeah, no, it's not in this class anyway. I could have sworn that I had icon somewhere. Maybe not. Yeah, no. Dang it, okay. Well, I gotta look this up then. I think there was something in the compose pathway where they pulled in the... So I remember there was a class called filled, and then under there were a lot of objects that, yeah, there you go, icons. Okay, it's icons plural. Okay, okay, I'm back in it now. So icons. And then we have, well, is the search thing filled or not? I don't think it is now. Okay, so what do we have here? Default. And then maybe search or magnify, maybe? Nope, not magnify. Maybe search. There is search, okay. So what is this then? Is this an image asset, vector asset? It's a vector asset, okay. Well, that should do it then. So we have this, and then we're gonna do a spacer. It's gonna be, I don't know, maybe 8-dip or something. And then we have the text field. And then around that would be a border. Let me push this onto a device, and I wanna see what this looks like first of all. I wanna see if they're like far apart now. Because I think I remember that that's what the space between does. Alright, it's building. I forgot again to configure my OBS to have a close-up on my Gradle build running. Okay, here we go. And visor. Okay, well that didn't work. So I guess the the text field by default stretches. And it's very, very material. This is not at all what I wanted. So if I push the design on top of this here, so this is not the style that I want. So let's see. Why is this so material? Dang, that is a lot of different config options. Oh, there's a leading icon in here. That's cool. So maybe I can just defer that into the text field itself. I won't need that then. Okay. What? Okay. So what else do we have? Okay, so we have shape and background color. What happens if I type in here? Interestingly, nothing happens. Like if I click on this and I type, nothing happens. Not sure what's going on there. Oh well, I guess. Do I need to remember the value immediately? I guess so, huh? Okay, let me do that then. Just making sure that this works like this. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna make a state variable here. Again, this is gonna move up eventually, but that's fine for now. Okay, and then I will need to import this, and I will need to manually import set value. Oh, and remember. Let's see. I guess it used to, because of the hard-coded empty string, it just, when I typed, an event would happen. The text field would recompose, but it was still the hard-coded empty string, so nothing would show. I guess that's what's happening there. So now I'm using state, and I'm assuming that this will now correctly reflect what I'm typing. Let's see. Okay, visor. And I'm clicking and I'm typing. Give me my keyboard. Please give me my keyboard. There's not a keyboard in sight. That's alarming. There it is. Okay, that seems to be like a compose bug or something. It just wouldn't work. But now, okay, now it works. And I have multi-line. Okay, so I gotta constrain that somehow. And I gotta figure out why this looks so material. I don't want it to look material. Maybe we need to make a custom text field or something. Okay. Right, so multi-line. I couldn't find anything that would say like max lines or something. Come on, give me the parameters. Yeah, it doesn't have anything along the lines of max lines or like single line. How do I do this? All right, let's jump into the source here. Well, we have IME action. That might be a good thing to set regardless of whether or not it'll help us. Oh. So it's gonna be a search action. But I will need to look up how to do a single line text field. Alright, and while I'm doing that, might as well compile again. Okay, the IME action itself did nothing to prevent the multi-line. And I found a Stack Overflow answer to a similar question, but I cannot believe that that's the answer right now. Hey Teflora, how are you? Good to see you. now, I am gonna just confine this to... Oh, I don't need to make this a row now. Perfect. What's for, well, lunch slash dinner slash anything in between? So supposedly you give this thing just a fixed height, and this height will dictate how many lines there's gonna be. But I guess I can just can't I just press enter and then the composable itself will stay the same height, but I'm still moving around inside of it. Let's see what happens. Gonna make those Japanese egg roll thingies. That sounds delicious. Oh, these you mean? Nice. Harumaki. Or like kind of like an omelette kind of thing. Like shaped like a kind of sushi roll. Perfect. Also your breakfast, because you totally overslept. Oh god. Well, late breakfast never did anything wrong. Yeah, so here's what I'm saying. Like the composable itself is now constrained to 48 dp, but I can still totally just press enter and like also scroll around inside of it. That is not what I want. All right. Huh. Maybe I need to wait on this. Maybe I need to wait until Leland hits this, because he's about to work on some form screens, like with input fields and like text and stuff, and maybe I need to wait for him to catch that. What? That cannot be true. Oh, that is so weird. Okay, interesting that that's not coming out of the box. All right, so here's what I have to do. So here on value change is basically the arbiter of deciding whether or not I want a text change to be approved or not. If I say text equals it, then basically I set the state, this thing, equal to whatever is given to me, the requested text change. And now I do that unconditionally. Whatever is given to me, I just accept it and apply the state. Now what I can do is... and I can't believe that this is actually what I need to do right now, but I'd have to let me give this parameter a name, new text. So I gotta literally count how many line breaks are in this text. And if this value is less than, well, however many lines I want, then I apply the state. And I guess that needs to be a char, not a string. So this should now mean that I can do 2 lines, right? Yes. Yes, unless I have 2 line breaks or more in there, I accept it. It's really weird. I mean, I appreciate that Compose is very low level and you build upon very trivial blocks. But come on. The number of lines you can enter in a text field, that should be coming out of the box. So let's see. Oh, I still have the... let me get rid of the modifier. Hold on. I don't want to crush this thing, so... Still need to figure out how to get rid of the underline and like the shape itself. That'll come later. Okay, so I click and I type hello, and then I press enter, and that should work. And then I press yes, and then enter does nothing. Because the new text that I would get has 2 line breaks in it. If I now pressed enter, then the text would be hello, new line, yes, new line. And that's 2 new lines, and that's not allowed, so I don't update the state. I mean, I get it, but that is really weird that that's not coming out of the box. So I guess I'm already about to make a couple of custom widgets here. So like, well, better text field, my text field, my text field, whatever. And then this gets, of course, its composable function. And then we have a property called new line here, max lines here. Oh, that's really annoying. I need to pipe through everything else from text field now. Oh, that's really bothering me. I think I will do this differently. I don't want to copy the million parameters that text field has. I want to do modifiers. Or no. Okay, text fields. Extensions. Text utils it is. So I have and then I'd have a block that's only executed when the number of... no, that's... Okay, sorry. Sorry for the back and forth, but I'm over it. It stays the way it is. Right, because I don't want to spend all stream just deciding whether or not I want to make this new line thing refactored or not. Okay, so search bar. Why is it so material, and why is it so, like, it fills all the space it has? I don't want that. I can see how it would, like, it would be shrunk, and then if you click it, then it would, like, extend. That would be kind of cool. But by default, I want it to acknowledge the design, which says that, where is it? That it should be just this small. Just like this. A tiny baby search bar. So. Okay, there's something called base text field here. I don't see any. And I don't want to go that deep. I don't want to go that deep into changing this thing. I want to play around with a couple of the properties that I get here. So there was a background color. Let me just do color transparent here. I just want to see what happens if I get rid of it. Please, there you go. And move that up. And then I want to see shape. Maybe I can do something with shape. There's a round corner shape. As soon as that's going to resolve, I'm going to do 50 for 50%. And that should give me strictly rounded corners. And comma. Okay, I want to see what happens with a text field that has these properties. Okay, interesting. So that's what it looks like. So it looks better. The background color seems to have worked, so it's not gray anymore. I'm not seeing the rounded corner shape, but well, I do see this line below, the material line. I don't want to have the material line though. Huh, I wonder, what does the shape do even in this context? I guess it's used for the background color. Because by default it says that it's just a... where is it here? It's a copy of the small shape with none of the bottom corners. But I want to draw something outside of it, so maybe I do need to put it inside of a like box or something. And that'll leave us with, well, with just its height, honestly. Okay, box, and then we'll get a background. And that can apply a brush, right? Brush, okay. Rectangle shape. I want to have like a stroked outline. How do I do that again? Oh, border stroke. Yeah, border might be a good... Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay, border. I don't know, 2-dip in our gray, I suppose. Let me pull up the color for our gray. I never know what to use here. So I'm gonna just might as well put in the colors here, the 3 colors that the designer provided for us. So this is the green. And I'm looking forward to the IDE hints here. That'll be great if we had those. So this is gonna be the dark bluish color. And then I have, so surface is gonna stay white. What do I do with the border thing? I don't know. I've run out of colors. On background. Yeah, I guess I will do... So on the primary color, we need to... Well, write in white, that's true. On the secondary color, we will also need to write in white. On backgrounds, we will need to write in like dark gray. On surface, because surface is white, we are gonna write in dark gray as well. So, how do I get my gray in here now? I'm gonna do secondary variant, whatever. Secondary variant. And this is the gray that I want, so this is 90, 90, 90. Okay. Colors are being used. I will go over here and I will say color equals material theme, colors, secondary variant. Come on. Okay. And this is the width. Align. Let's try. It'll not get rid of the line below the text field, but hopefully best case scenario it'll be a... Forgot the shape. Best case scenario it'll be a like box in gray around the text field. Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay. Oh. Interesting, you know what? The bottom line is gone now. I have no idea why, but I will gladly take that. I couldn't explain it, but maybe it's just a Christmas miracle. Okay, let me format these. And then shape is gonna be not a rectangle shape, but a round corner shape. Come on. 50% for that rounded look. And then I guess all we need to do is update the probably text size of this. Whoops. I think I might have forgotten to rename this new app. I think it's called Compose Travel still. Yes, sure is. Okay. I'm gonna name this food. And I don't need these anymore. Okay. Right. That looks good, except for the fact that there's still this this green line showing through. I want to get rid of that. I don't want that. Maybe I will leave it at that though, just for now, because I do want to get to some other parts of this UI. I don't want to spend 2 hours on a search bar. So I think I will move over to the next thing, and I will leave a to-do here, saying that, leave it on the text field, to do how to get rid of bottom line. Cool. I will, however, add some vertical alignment here. Center vertically should do the trick. And I also have not updated the size of the search bar yet, but that's all right. Might as well do that now. I'm gonna make it 96 dip, and then when clicked it'll like expand or whatever, but not right now. Okay. Let's go to the food category filter, and I will now go and steal my old stuff from the travel app. So this is the composable that I built. Horizontal section. It doesn't do much, but it does have some of the niceties that I will need here. Okay, that looks good. And well, the food category filter really is little more than this, honestly. And I will make this now. Okay, I will update my horizontal section now. So the horizontal section had a header, a headline, and then below was the row that you could scroll. I'm gonna make it so that you don't give it a title string, but rather you give it title content, and then you give it child content below. So I'm basically adding a slot for the title. And then I don't need this, and here I'm instead going to emit the title content. And I will make that optional, so that by default there's nothing there. And you could give it anything if you wanted. So in here, I will use a horizontal section. And then this is gonna be wait, how do you use this again? Oh, you have to give it items. Okay. Yeah, you have to give it items, and then it'll render these inside the loop. What? Oh. Scrambled eggs it is. It's called improvising. Adapt and conquer. Or something, I don't know. Oh, you get two here. You get index and item. And of course we will need some data. So I'm gonna create my test data just up here. Categories. It's gonna be a list of, and then enum class, food category. And then we have, I don't know what these categories are. Whoops. There's a couple. So there's like a bowl of rice or something. We have like a burger. Then we have, I don't know, like nuts or something. Then we have fruit, and then we have fish. And then I guess we have to have meat. So this is just gonna be my list. And then for all of these, just create a list here. Okay. And then for each of them, we're gonna have another recommended dish. Oh. All right, because I don't. Okay, I didn't give it. Alright, Blayman says, "Oh dude, I love starting new projects. That's all I do though." I know the feeling. So my project is gonna be about building a design that I got from Dribble, and I'm gonna build that into an I'm gonna implement this design as an Android app using the new UI toolkit that was just recently released called Jetpack Compose. And this particular design is about a food delivery app wherein you have just some basic screens that you would have anywhere, basically a sign-in screen, and then just differently exercised designs for certain screens. So here's like a home screen with recommended food and dishes, and then we also have like a detail page for a specific dish. Then there's like a cart and payment screen below here, like entering your address. That again is a bit less interesting to me, but I guess for the sake of learning how form fields work in this UI toolkit, it makes sense to go through these. And yeah, that's basically it. So I've started this today. I finished a different design in earlier streams, which are also archived on my YouTube. But today I started this new food kind of thing. Jetpack is released by Google. So Jetpack is the umbrella term for a bunch of libraries that Google provides for Android developers. And basically they allow you to write good apps with a guidance on how to architect your app, and then some UI components and like different pieces to like write good logic and like implement design patterns like model view, view model, those kinds of things. And they're all grouped together under this Jetpack umbrella term. And the Jetpack Compose is the latest addition to this kind of set of libraries, and it's the UI toolkit, which is very deeply integrated into the Kotlin compiler. So it allows us to write UI without touching XML, without separating the logic in different places, and it uses a declarative programming model, whereas before you would have calls like, okay, here's my text view and I want to call set text hello world on it. Whereas now you don't really describe how you want the UI to behave. Instead, you write what it looks like. So you define the what instead of the how. And that's kind of the main model behind these declarative frameworks. And like Swift UI does something similar on iOS. So that's why I'm really... and I guess Flutter does something similar as well. You're just saying that. Yeah, it is kind of similar in that Flutter, as far as I know, also uses a declarative model. But yes, we are completely in Kotlin. There's no Dart here, and so we get a lot of the niceties of Kotlin. The thing that I really like about Flutter and that really blew my mind is the hot reload thing. And I don't think that's ever gonna happen with like Jetpack Compose in the near future, and that's just because Dart and the VM thing that they use is just so it's made to be hot reloaded, and for Kotlin you need to compile it and run it on the device and that kind of thing. But yeah, in general, I'm really in love with it. I've been building Android apps for almost a decade, and this feels like very much a fresh start, and it's a bit intimidating because of that, but I really like where this is going, and I'm really tired of XML. I mean, it did its job, but it's time for something new. It's time for something better. Apps have evolved since then, and they're not just static form pages anymore. And this kind of model really fits this new demand, I think. Okay, so food category filter. So we have items. It's going to be my food categories. And then for each of them, I'm just going to, for now, emit a text for them. I don't have the icons yet, but I will grab those probably after this stream. Okay, and then recommended dish. Well, I'll need some more test data here. So what do we have here? So our example has noodles voga. I don't know why this is so blurry now. It's weird. Okay, that's a bit better, but I'm not sure what's happening here. I don't know why this is so blurry. Okay, so now you can see. All right. Would you say a person with no experience in the whole classic Java Android app development should start with the Java stuff or go straight into this Kotlin Jetpack stuff? I don't know. So Kotlin is the recommended language for Android development right now, and so if you're really just starting out fresh, it does make sense to an extent to just jump in with Kotlin straight away. The thing is, like, Kotlin is very, like, it's built upon interoperability with Java. So it's possible that you will interface with Java code at some point. So you will need some cursory knowledge of what Java looks like, I think, to be proficient in Android, especially since even though like the Jetpack stuff is, well, even those are mostly still written in Java. It's still easily usable through Kotlin as well, just because the languages like belong together pretty much. But if you don't know any Java, then I'd recommend you just get a brief glance at what Java code looks like, maybe just syntactically. And then the Android ecosystem is a whole nother beast anyway. And if you can find a good tutorial that starts at the beginning and uses Kotlin, I think that's a sane approach to take. But you will see some Java code eventually. If you just like use a library and you want to see, oh, what's the source code of this library, and you command click into it, and then you're suddenly not in Kotlin land anymore, I think that can be very overwhelming. And at that point, you will need to know your Java to some extent. But that being said, Kotlin is a amazing language. So I'm gonna create a couple of test food here. So let's create a class called dish, and then I don't know. Dish has a name. It's a string. Dish also has an image URL. What else? Probably like a description or something. Maybe ingredients, but I'm leaving it at that for now. And then we have recommended dishes. I'm gonna pull these into a database eventually, but right now I just wanna get some data on screen. And it's gonna be a list of. And then we have these noodles here that I have on the design. Noodles vaga, I don't know if that's a thing. Image URL, I don't have one yet. Description is, I don't know, it's good. And then I'm also gonna do Teflora's egg roll things. I'm gonna make those a dish. Egg rolls, image URL, to be discussed. And then egg rolls, you can roll them. Alright, let's leave it at those two for now. And then this horizontal section is gonna get this list. And then this is gonna be a dish. And I'm gonna pass this dish into the recommend dish composable. And then down here, receive that in a parameter. And then I don't know how I will render these for now. For now, I think I will just create a box here. I will make this fill its width. And maybe give it an aspect ratio or something. And that'll be, I don't know, just let's say 16 by 9. And in here I will do text dish dot name. Oh, actually, let's do box and then column in here. Then a text and then another text with the dish's description inside of it. And then all I need to do is wasn't there alignment? No. Arrangement? Oh yeah, alignment. There you go. And then I'm going to align the center. It's not going to be what the design says, but I want to get this off the ground now. Okay. It's weird these are functions and not classes. I feel like in the past they'd be classes. Yes, for sure. So one of the things that was the most confusing to me is that you have like Pascal case. So these functions all start with capital letters. And for the longest time, I was heavily opposed to that. I thought it was gross and ugly. But I feel like your feeling is a good approach to this, where I kind of think of these composables as classes, kind of. They have the nicety of not being as heavyweight as a class, but they kind of fulfill the role of like reusable components. And so they are kind of like objects, and you compose them together, hence the name. And you make more complex parts out of very, very primitive parts. And for that, I think the naming makes sense. And even in Kotlin in general, we've had a couple of instances where they are using functions and like they disguise functions as classes just by making them capitalized. And it's really interesting. Like if you're using coroutines or something and you want to create like a job object. So let me just show that off briefly. So if I want to do like a coroutines job, and then I create a coroutines a job object, right? But this is actually not a constructor invocation. If I go here and I open this up, this is actually also a function. And then under the hood, it creates some object or whatever. But they kind of do that behind the facade of a function. And that's really, really weird. But I've accepted it as a thing that Kotlin can do. And I wouldn't do it for my personal code unless it's composables. But yeah, I guess it is weird, yeah. Okay, so there's a very experimental design going on here. Okay, so what do we have? Well, I don't have any padding between these, so that makes sense. So the search bar is way too narrow, so 96 dip is not cutting it, so it's got to be at least double that. And then for the food categories, I think that is why I had this padding parameter here. Content padding, child padding. Okay, I'm gonna look inside my other project. I wanna see how I used this before. Okay, so outer padding and then inside padding. Got it, okay. So content padding is gonna be the outer thing. And then I'm gonna use this divider padding. I'm gonna use the same for inside padding as well, but give it a different name so I'm more flexible later. Okay, so this is gonna be outer padding, and then child padding is gonna be the divider padding variable. Yes. Okay, so that takes care of that. I will need for the recommend dishes. I will need some title content. I will emit a text that says recommended, which has a typo in the design, but I'm gonna spell it with 2M. And none of this is styled, but that's okay for me for now. And this thing will also get outer padding, no, content padding. And child padding. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, well, I am gonna spend a bit of time on styling and padding. But yeah, okay, that is okay. I will need to indent the recommended, the title pretty much here. So this guy is gonna get text equals and then modifier. Gonna give this outer padding as well. Format this. This is weird. The recommended dish is supposed to fill the max width, but it does not. Let me give a background color here just to see what's going on. Okay. All right, let me apply a bit of styling. I won't pull in the typeface. I do have the font files ready to go, but I need to check if the font actually works correctly, because not all custom fonts do. So for the explore page, this kind of looks like a... Wait, where am I? Here. So we have, what is it, style or text style? Font style. Quick check. Okay. So let me assume that this is gonna be, wait, let me glance over these screens real quick, because I think this is the largest headline that we have in the app. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right, so this is gonna become H1, which is gonna be much, much, much too big. But this is kind of the highest level, headline that we have. What? Wait, I'm confused. Why is this not working now? Oh, it is style. Huh. Okay. All right, so this is going to be H1. The recommended text, wherever it is here, is going to be... let's give this H2. And because I know how huge this is going to be, I will apply my typography here that I've prepared. At least a little bit. I think 34, 24. That's still too big, I think, but let's try it with those. So that should style, I kind of get rid of this and this too. That should style the explore and the recommended and give it a bit more space, actually. And we should have red background because I want to see why these recommended things are not filling the entire width. All right. Okay. Well, yeah, we're getting there, I guess. I do see that this is kind of edge to edge on the design. So next to like where I now have this purple status bar, in reality this is, oh, I'm not sure if you can see that on Visor. Yeah, you can see the status bar. That should be white. That should be transparent, quote unquote. All right. Yeah, but the rest is okay. I feel like it could do with a bit more auto padding though. At least on the sides. So let me do outer horizontal. And then outer horizontal is gonna be more than that. That was a problem with the other design too. The designer had very, very large side padding and I had to reduce it, but I don't need to do it just yet. So this is gonna be horizontal. And this is gonna be this. And then one more somewhere here. Also gonna be horizontal. Right, let's try this again. Oh, I think I know what's going on with this horizontal section here for the recommended dishes, which I will actually pull out of here and say horizontal, what am I saying? Recommended dish list. Pull that in here. Slap the annotation on top. All right, so I think what's going on is that this thing here needs to fill max width too. I think we're not seeing the red things stretch to the entire screen because it's their container isn't, and that's why they won't either. All right, the search bar is still too large, but we can fix that. And this underline needs to go, but I won't do that today. So you'll get past these objects there. And then in the search bar, we have wait, I think there's a size modifier, isn't there? Sure is, okay. Width, height. Yeah, I don't know how much that is. Let's do like 60, and then I'm hoping that I can change the text size here. Okay, we have text style. I guess that'll work. So let's do, I don't know, body 2, whatever that means. Okay, it's less, must be less than 60 then. Okay. Oh, I want to see text size though. Okay, the text size looks okay. It's not too small. I really want to get rid of this line. It's annoying me. So let's do 48. I'm not sure if that's too small. Okay, 48. And then this thing still doesn't work. Recommended dishes does not fill anything. So let's give it another ugly color. Maybe it's this added nesting with the other column. I mean, that's not going to be the final finished design for these anyway. Okay, so the green container, oh, I just removed it. The green container does fill the entire screen, so it's not that. So I guess it was the fact that I had a box and then another column inside of the box, which is not needed. Not yet, anyway. So now I think I should have things that completely fill the screen. Okay, not yet. I'm not sure what it is about text and just it does not want to fill its dimensions. It just does not want to do it. It's amazing. I don't know what it is about these things. So do I... Okay, let's try with this. Oh yeah, and as I predicted, the search text is now cropped. But I do like the size though. The size itself looks good. I need to get rid of the padding in somehow. I don't know yet how I'm gonna do that. But the box itself looks good. Alright, now they're just laid on top of each other, which makes sense because it's a box. But what doesn't make sense is that it just will not fill the entire width. I don't know. Let me try weight. I'm having terrible flashbacks using the weight modifier. But I at least want to try it once. Wait, have they removed weight? Oh, maybe it's only available here. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Let me instruct one of the texts to fill its parent as well. Maybe that's something weird, or I don't know. I think that's the last I'm gonna do. It's not the final design anyway. I need to rearrange a lot of things once I get the images. So I'll do that, and then I will move to the next part of the screen. I need more white space between the sections, come to think of it. Yeah. It's amazing. It just doesn't do it. It just does not do it. Okay. Well. Another time. Okay. Okay. Right, more white space. We need more white space. Well, I mean, side padding I don't really need for this, for the horizontal section, because they have the intrinsic content padding already. So I'm good there, but I do need vertical. Same here. Whoops. Okay, that should kind of lighten, make it a bit looser, not so cramped. And then I'm gonna get started with the tabs below. Okay, yeah, I think that's better with the bigger white space. I'm gonna replace the food category texts with icons. I'm not sure what icons the material standard library has. Nothing for fish, I see. Does it have a burger? Oh wow, what a surprise. Okay, I don't know what it has though. Okay, so here are all of them. Let's just find something that makes sense as a placeholder. Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use person. The modifier is gonna be height, or size 48. And then they have this, like... I'm not sure if this is actually gonna be similar to the travel filters that I had, but this looks like just circular, highlightable, like toggleable buttons. And then when you highlight them, then that filter would be enabled. That's what I'm guessing. So let me do a box, a clickable box around this icon. And this is not gonna be size, this is instead gonna be fill max size. And then in here we have this size, and this is way too small, 96. And then has a bit of padding, 8. 96 is too big, 60 is 72. And this box is going to be clickable. And when you do, something happens. What? Oh. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah. And then I guess alignment. Is gonna be center. And then I don't need the padding, I think. But I will leave it. For the time being, I think I do need it actually. Alright, as soon as these imports are done, I'm gonna deploy to the screen. And I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of this green background here. Okay. All right. So you have the different icons. I'm gonna give them their styling. So this is gonna be I guess a background color of material theme colors primary. Copy, and I want to make this very transparent, 25% alpha. I want to clip it using a circle shape. And the icons themselves, I want tinted. In the primary color as well. Okay, I again messed up the order. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take me to finally understand the correct order of clip and background. So you gotta clip it first, and then on the clip thing you apply the background. Rest looks good though. I mean, 25% even is a bit too much. Let's do 15. Size is looking okay. It could be a bit bigger. think I'm gonna do... I'm gonna do 80. Yeah, looking good, looking good. Bit too far apart. Good. A bit less divider padding in here. I think that's good. You can click them, nothing happens yet. I will copy that from my other project when the time comes. You could scroll there if I had more items. Okay. So for now, for the recommended dish, I will add a buttload of padding. Let's actually do more. Okay. And then I want to finish off today by applying the bottom part of this design, which is a tabbed kind of thing. I think it's a tabbed layout. But I think both of these would simply apply different filters to the grid below it. So if you choose popular or offer, it doesn't matter. You'd see the grid below, but you wouldn't see chicken salad if you clicked on offer, or you would see, I don't know, some other dish if you clicked offer. And we have a 2-column grid below, which I haven't done a grid before. I've done lists and like rows and columns, but never grid, so that's gonna be fun. So I think I'm gonna rename tabbed grid because it's not actually tabbed, it's I don't know, it's like a dish grid. Let me call it dish grid. So it's gonna be filters. It's a weird name, but it's okay. And then we have the cell content, and well, the filter is gonna somehow apply some filtering to the list of items that we see here. So this is also gonna be a list of dish, and the list of filters dictate what's written above the grid, pretty much. Okay, cool. So we have a column. In the column, we have a scrollable row. And for each of the filters, that we have, we render a text with the name of that filter. And it'll get a style of typography H2. It's the same as the recommended above. Now I'm wondering if you are able to swipe, or if you should be able to click them. The design doesn't really make that obvious. It could be either. It really could be either, I'm not sure. So this might be a view pager, or it's just a plain grid with buttons above it. Well, let's see. We have text button, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll render a text button for each of the filters that we get. And then we have some padding in between the two, whatever, it comes later. And then below we have a grid. Now, here's the interesting part. I don't know if there is a grid composable. It does not seem like it. Okay, I found an old Stack Overflow answer with something called a table, but I don't think a table exists anymore. Here's somebody using a lazy column for. Maybe I'll take a peek at what Guru has done in his example, in his cookbook. I'm not sure if he has something for grid, but I almost guarantee it. He has a lot of stuff there. Oh, I might be able to learn something about buttons too. Okay, I might need to look into this source here. Let me move over to... Alright, here's grid. Alright, what does he have here? Alright, here's grid list view. Here you go. Alright, to do. No built-in grid view. Not available yet. Using rows for now. Grids are not lazy driven yet, so let's wait for lazy layout to make grids. Okay, it doesn't exist yet. Interesting. Alright, so where does he get vertical grid from? Here. Alright, there's a custom layout, okay. Taken from Jetpack sample or JetSnack example. Right now there's no built-in grid, but we can make a custom layout like below, which takes number of items and places them in grid fashion. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cop this. I'm sure Guru doesn't mind, and neither do the JetSnack developers. I wanna cop this. I didn't know that there was no grid yet. And I'm surely not gonna build one now, just from scratch, if I can avoid it. Alright, let's put it here. Let's put this thing here as well. And then import a few things. Okay. So I'm gonna go back just quickly, looking at how he's weaving in those things into a grid. So he has a scrollable column. Okay, and then he has an example for 2 columns and then 4 columns. But I think I don't need that. I think I just need... Okay, I think I just need the vertical grid. Modifier, content. Oh, interesting. Okay. That works a bit different to my dish grid, to my horizontal section. That's interesting, but okay. Right, so dish grid, go here, scrollable row, and then we have the grid, no, vertical grid. Come on. So number of columns is 2, that's already fine. And then in here, this is the entire content. This is, so for my horizontal section, I had it so the trailing lambda is what gets called multiple times. And inside the trailing lambda, you just define one of the items. But here, it seems like you have just one trailing lambda, and in there you do the looping. That's interesting. That's a different approach. Okay. So vertical grid. Items 4. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. There you go. So for each of the items that I have, I'm just going to lay them out, and then the vertical grid will take care of where to place it and how big it should be, basically. Right. What does the design say? Okay, so we have like an image thing. So it's a box with rounded corners and like an image. It's going to be a box with modifier clip, and then we have round corner shape. Or actually, material theme, shapes, small. Let's do medium. Let's do small. Right. And inside, we will have a couple of things. So this is going to be by default, I don't know, some color. Or I'm going to do this differently. I defined the image URL earlier. I'm going to do that nullable. And my images are not there yet. I don't have images yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check here. Do I have an image or not? If I do, coil image. I think I pulled that in, yes. And then data is going to be that image URL. Otherwise, well, it's not going to be anything in it. Yeah, I don't need anything. Just doing some random color so that I see something. Okay. And then we also render a text for the item's name. Alignment is going to be bottom start. Padding is going to be 16 dip. And the style is going to be H3. Okay, what's up here? Oh yeah. So I have list of filters. I have the list of my items. So I'm gonna do a few more of these just for testing. So I have chicken salad. I have spaghetti. Let me do, I don't know, keema curry. And then some description, I don't know. They sure are long. And then chicken salad is gonna be used to walk recently. And then keema curry might be hot. Alright. And then I just give my recommended dishes for testing here. And I think that's it. Yeah. And I will not give the composable for the children from the outside. Rather, I leave it at that. And then I rendered them here anyway. Okay, let's see what the vertical grid looks like. I probably forgot somewhere a fill max size or something. All right, you're seeing it the same second that I do. Oh God. All right, what happened here? Well, this is actually kind of what I, this is actually kind of what I designed, or like what I thought was gonna happen. So the grid does not have any padding, which is obviously not correct. I'm not sure if this thing that I stole, if that has intrinsic padding or not. It might not have. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure. It might have too much padding if I give it... Well, it's fine for now. Alright. I did use the secondary color as the background, so that's why this looks like that. I do need, for the entire dish grid, I need the outer padding. So vertical equals outer vertical padding. Horizontal equals outer horizontal padding. And then these text buttons here don't look correct yet. They both look enabled, so I don't think I will use text button here. Instead, I will use just text, and I will give those to a clickable modifier. And then I will change the color based on whether they are selected or not. Actually, I might as well do that now. So I'm gonna add some state here. So this is gonna be selected filter, and this is gonna be a var, of course, because we can change it. And we are gonna remember it through just a nullable state variable. Well, no, honestly, it's not. It's not actually. Well, let's assume that filters is not going to be empty, huh? Well, this is a dangerous call if ever the filters were empty. But they're kind of not right now, so it's okay. All right, and when one of them is clicked, it'll set the state to itself, to filter, which will recompose these things, and then eventually it'll rearrange the stuff that's shown in the grid. Right, and then typography H2 is okay, and I will change the color to be if this is actually the selected filter. Whoops. If this is actually the selected filter, then it will get the unspecified color, which I think means just use whatever you would have gotten otherwise. If it is not the selected filter, then we will give it a special color, which is typography on background, but transparent. It's got to look like more gray, so like 50% alpha maybe. Oh. Right, so I set it and I get it. Yeah, okay. Let's see. That might work. It might not. All right. Okay. So we have a staggered grid, which is not what I want. So we'll next time have to update it. So I guess we'll have to do a kind of vertical custom grid layout, wherein every row knows exactly how large it's going to be. I mean, it's kind of unfair. Right now, these cells are of different heights, and in the design, these things at the bottom are going to have the same height. Even though maybe one dish name is too long and it breaks into 2 lines or something, even then, the entire like square thing is going to be that. It's going to be a square. So I'm not sure if we're going to have to care about that necessarily. And then above here, we have the 2 buttons, which also look good. They're lacking padding in between. And it works. If I click on one of them, it gets selected. The thing recomposes and the colors change. I think that looks good already. Cool. Let's add some padding between them. Where was it? Here. Right. I want to force a specific size for the boxes. Or actually a height, rather. Or rather an aspect ratio. I hope this works already. Because the width is given. I'm not sure if I just specify aspect ratio and nothing else. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure which of the dimensions is going to be the reference point. I'm assuming it's going to be the width by default, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, looks like it. Cool. And this looks better as well with the added padding. It's even now it's too little. I'm gonna do more. So what is this? 8. Okay, so I'm gonna do 16 then. I'm gonna do the outer horizontal padding. No, that's too much. I'm gonna do 16. Cool. And I'm going to already prepare the shape, because this shape has rounded corners, but it's very, very subtle. Whereas in the design, the corners are very pronounced, very round. There's a lot of circular stuff in this design, as it is. So that's why I prepared this. And our shapes are going to be now used. And we will have small. It's going to be a rounded corner shape of 16 dip. Import that. Go back. Compile. Should be okay. Right. If that's gonna look good, then I will spend a couple more minutes going back to the search bar at the top. I want to see if I can quickly remove this padding. And then I'm gonna call it quit for today, I think. Yeah, that looks better. That looks closer to the design. I like it. I also see what was giving me some headaches earlier, where the grid padding is not uniform. So at the very edges, it has more padding than in between the different cells. So that's a problem. But nothing that can't be fixed, so that's fine. All right, so 5 more minutes to figure out this search bar. This is the moment where my Android Studio froze. Okay, it's back. It lives. Okay, so how do we get rid of the bottom line and the search, the padding? I'm actually gonna just throw the slightest of peaks in Guru's cookbook again, because I think, well, his text fields look slightly different, but maybe I can find something there. So UI. Well, I don't know. Is it profile? No. Oh, maybe here. Text demo. Yeah, that looks okay. Oh, there's no text field though. Text inputs. Maybe that's it. Okay, so we have text field. We have core text field. What is that? Wow, that actually exists. Okay. What is it though? Wait, it has max lines? Are you joking? That's what I was making fun of earlier. Oh, it doesn't have a leading icon though. Well, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Come on, please import it again. Yeah, this does not have... So what is a core text field then? Okay, this composable provides basic text editing functionality, however, does not include any decorations such as borders, hints, or placeholder. I do like the placeholder though. Alright, let me see if I can do with the general text field then. So I've outlined text field. Okay, he's just using outline text field. Label, placeholder, value change. No, that does not look like it's gonna help me. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna have to tackle the padding myself. I wonder what visual transformation is. So like underline or something? Change the visual output. Note. Okay, it's something that you would apply to like mask a text view or something. Credit card visual output. Inserting hyphens each 4 digits. Oh, that's cool. That's really neat. Okay, I see. Right, that's not what I want, but it is very neat. Where do I get to this padding though? What is decoration? Decoration sounds like the thing that would add color. Oh, that's where you get the content color from. I see. No, okay, that's not it. Impl. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Okay, here's a base text field. Oh, and that goes all the way down to the core text field. I wonder why that has, like at the very bottom we have max lines, but it's not bubbled up to the higher level things. That's really weird. Default text field width. Is that stretch? Oh, 280 dips. Okay, so maybe that is why the field was so wide. It's because it used to have this thing as its minimum width. Okay. On text layout. How do I get rid of this bottom line? Okay, I might have reached the bottom. This looks very low level. But it's also in foundation. I don't think they would make it so the the bottom line is applied in foundation. I mean, the bottom line is a very material thing, is it not? Yeah, this is almost arcane. I have no idea where to look here. So simple layout. Text field delegate layout. No. Okay. I will leave it at that for today. I will need to figure this out offline. Maybe ask in a different Compose stream. I think, yeah, I'm kind of content with the progress that has been made today. I mean, this obviously looks pretty rough still. Just because this design is so dependent on having cool images, it will probably pop a lot more once we do have images. And the typography that is that's supposed to be here. Once that is in, it's gonna be much prettier as well. So next time I will hopefully have an answer for the search bar. Then we will design this middle section here, these cells, which are supposed to look like that, but currently look like this. And then we're gonna go down to the bottom for these other images, and then we place circles on cells and stuff. Okay, yeah, sounds fun. Thank you for being there with me. I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.